yeah, you know what time it is. That's right, it's time for Rivals Assemble, a Marvel Rivals podcast. I am your host, Mark Turcott, and you are tuned in to episode 18. Well, my friends, the Rivals train just keeps on chugging along. Man, we got a bunch of announcements this week, from new skins, a new event with a new game mode. We're going to break it all down here on the podcast for you, as well as get to some Groot lore. I am Groot. So to do it all with me here this week, first up, Neil. Neil, what's up, dude?
We are Groot. Yeah?
Yeah. Does he ever say we are Groot? Is that?
He does.
Yeah, when he saves everybody.
Oh, that's right. He does.
Because we're a team and we're here.
Technically, that's in the MCU. If you want to get, if you want to split hairs over it.
He says it in the game.
Oh,
yes, that's right. He does, right? I think at the end of the game.
Because like the ultimate sounds are different for your team versus opponent's team.
Got it.
I was going to
team
learn Japanese to do that, but didn't happen. Sorry, guys.
Oh, man.
One of these weeks, maybe.
Let's see. So some of those other voices there. Ken's, what's up, dude?
Oh yeah, hey. That was me. And we are also Groot.
We are all Groot. That's right.
We are Groot.
Yeah. And Matt. Matt, what's up, dude?
Ore wa Groot.
Okay.
There's
Thank you,
your
Matt.
Japanese for you.
I still haven't changed over to the Japanese.
They're so good.
Voice
They're
lines.
fun.
Do you just play with that on all the time now, Matt? Or is that?
No, not all the time now. But when I'm, I don't know, when I'm feeling like I need to be a little bit more epic.
Yeah.
You know.
I see that somebody who's posting screenshots and maybe videos in the Discord has it on Japanese, like even the writing. Instead of MVP, it's a couple
Maybe they're Japanese.
Maybe.
Have you tried other languages or just Japanese?
I've just tried Japanese, and I've just done the audio. I haven't changed text or anything like that.
Oh, man.
Because I don't think
That would
there's
be wild.
I don't think there's full language support for anything besides that in Chinese.
Probably Chinese, right?
Yeah, I believe. Technically, like Cantonese, I think, or I don't know if it's Cantonese or Mandarin. I'm not sure.
Gotcha. All right. Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show here, episode 18, man. Like I said, we got a good one here in store for you here. But as always, quick little info here. Of course, you can always find us over on X and Blue Sky at Rivals Assemble. What's up to everybody over on Twitch and YouTube? You can watch us there live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern at Rivals Assemble Pod. So what's up to you guys over there? Of course, you can also listen to the podcast on whatever your podcast service of choice is, whether it's iTunes or Spotify. And of course, if you're listening over there, please be sure to subscribe to us there and leave us a review and a rating. That always helps kind of move us up the ranks of the podcast scene. And if you're on Spotify, of course, leave us a comment because, of course, at the end of the show, we're always pulling comments in that from Spotify. Now, if you want to get in touch with us, best way to do it, join our Discord right now. So we have over 100 people now in our Discord.
Crazy.
And I will tell you, so we're now 2 weeks into this, and we've had a little bit of issues with the links. So if by chance you click on the link and it's not working, make sure to click the link that's in this episode's description, because we're going to try to make sure that's the one that's not going to expire if you want to be a part of the Discord. But get over there. We got a bunch of cool guys over there. I mean, every day, guys, the Discord is just popping off, right? It's like all throughout the day. I just look at my phone and I have like tons of notifications.
The community is just kind of run with it. Like I have barely had a chance to read through, and it's like, oh man, it's just an entertaining. I don't have a chance to respond. Like, oh, it's fun to read through. All right, they're getting after it in there.
Yeah, I mean, we got a couple factions. I think the console faction, those guys are up and running. They've joined. So even if you want to get and not necessarily be competitive, but you want to join just to get the achievement. I know some guys in there are achievement hunting in that. So it's a really cool community that we've kind of built over there, which is pretty awesome.
Shout out to the Dirtbag Caps.
Yes.
Big cap.
Who, by the way, I think you mentioned that last week. They wanted a role in the Discord they are Dirtbag Caps. Awesome group of people over there. So again,
There'll
join
be
our
a
Discord.
T-shirt. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's
t-shirt.
what we need. Yeah, get the shirt that says Dirtbag Caps. Also, this upcoming Monday, be on the lookout. We're going to be recording a review/discussion on Captain America: Brave New World. And the cool thing about that is that's actually just a little taste of what's going to be coming when we actually launch the Patreon. So,
and a moose bouche, if you will.
yeah, so you can get a little taste of what that's going to be about. We'll have more details for you on the Patreon here in the coming weeks. But that's going to be the type of content that you can expect in that if you want to help support the show. So we're going to be putting that into just the regular feed just on Monday. So be on the lookout for that. Now, guys, our poll from last week, we asked, what is the best map in the game? Now, this was, of course, over 3 weeks. We figured out the best domination map, the best convoy map, and the best convergence map. And we had the Eastgard Royal Palace was the domination, the Tokyo 2099 Spider Islands convoy, and Tokyo 2099 Shin Shibuya was the convergence. And the winner with, I'm not going to say it totally ran away with it, but it did win it by, we had 102 votes total.
Come on.
43.1% of the votes with 44 votes. The Tokyo 2099 Spider Islands.
Wow.
Yeah, pulling off there. So the convoy map on Tokyo 2099.
Yeah,
what do you guys think?
Great. I like Convoy, especially the beginning of this map where you have your own little kind of square with the tower, as you said, with the bell.
Ring the bell.
I haven't rung that bell since we
Punch
talked
it.
about it, but this isn't the one with the goats that you're talking about, is it?
No, that's the Eastgard.
No, it's
Eastgard?
Eastgard.
Oh, okay. I still haven't looked at that either. That just reminded me.
This is the one where you kind
uh,
of go around the corner, you get to the one control point where there's kind of like I don't want to say a gate, but I guess it is kind of a gate.
Yeah,
like an
yeah, it's a
archway.
gate, and then
Go
Yeah.
through, and then you go
the little
inside. And it's got
stairs.
the little thing up in the side. Yeah.
yeah, that destructible building is pretty fun.
Yep.
That you go around after the first point. Yeah,
I
it's
think
great.
this is a pretty balanced map too. Like overall,
Yeah.
Like that's why this one I'm okay with this winning. I think it's a good one.
Otherwise, I would have chosen
Otherwise,
another
too bad.
winner for
But
this.
coming in second, guys. I mean, the second was the other Tokyo 2099 map, the Shin Shibuya.
Shin Shibuya.
I think
The
that
convergence.
Tokyo 2099 maps are the best. I'm
They
gonna
are
put it
cool.
out there.
Yeah, they are pretty sweet. Now that's where all like the Spider Punk and all that comes from, right? Those skins. I mean,
Supposedly.
game wise should be.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get
'cause
some more skins from that.
That's-
I think we could.
Do you think it was because they put all the comics in 2099 and they're like, yeah, that makes me love
Yeah.
2099.
That's true. I didn't think of that. All the Marvel Rivals comic
They didn't
was
even
all.
touch any of the other spots.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
the first
that
one
would
that they went
be an easier or like a bigger draw visually for a comic book cover if you were to feature that.
Yeah.
And it also sounds a little bit more exciting to be able to say Tokyo 2099 or any bit of
Yeah,
that because
future.
2099 is also so ingrained into comics.
What's going to happen in Marvel when we actually hit 2099? Like, are they going to just be like, okay, well now we're doing 2199, or like, how does that all work?
They'll just push it back, I'm sure. There's been other forms of
20XX.
Like Prince, when we
Mega Man.
we're partying like it's 1999. When we got there, now it's like we're going back to 1999.
Yeah.
Like it's changes. Everything changes when that happens, right? I
That's
don't know.
Yeah, it's
before Power Rangers was canceled on Netflix. One of the seasons that was about 20 years ago, Power Rangers SPD, was set in 2025. And the big discussion was, are they going to do, it's like, oh my God, so far in the future. What are they going to do when we actually hit 2025? And
Yeah.
I guess they don't have to worry about it now. 'cause they
Canceled.
canceled
Yeah,
it.
it got
Cancel
canceled.
on
So who
Netflix.
cares?
Blade Runner 2 was like in 2018 or 2019 or something.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That was when it was set, the original Blade Runner. So they had to push that back.
I mean,
from
Back to the
movie.
Future, right? I think we caught up
Yeah.
with Back to the Future too.
So 2099, who knows? We'll
you
get
go.
there.
So next week's poll, we got a good one for you here. What is the most useful team up in the game? And so we picked 4, and these are 4 that we picked. So Magneto and Scarlet Witch, of course, using the big sword.
Yeah, great.
Hela, Loki, Thor, which is with the revive, right? Hela revives Loki or Thor.
And gives health
Right.
if they're not dead with
Uh,
final hits.
The Warlock revive or Cocoon revive with Star-Lord and Mantis. Or the Rocket Punisher Winter Soldier with the ammo. So, go over to Spotify. You'll see the poll there right under the podcast. You'll be able to vote. Let us know, what is the most useful team up in the game? Magneto, Scarlet Witch, Hela, Loki, Thor, Warlock, Star-Lord, Mantis, or Rocket Punisher Winter Soldier. Let us know. And, hey, there was another poll happening over on the
Yes.
Discord. That I
It just
saw run.
ended, by the way.
Yeah.
It didn't end, so some people lost. But the question was,
It's
Matt
not
posted
over,
this,
Mark.
which made me feel
It's not
we
over.
went rogue. The
How
poll
long?
is closed at now. Yeah.
How long will it take for me to buy the new Venom costume? And the answer was, do I buy it before the live recording? Do I wait until the weekend, or am I skipping this one? And I will tell you, if you picked before the live recording, you were close. Because once I saw it, it was like, I mean, I was not planning to buy it, but the minute I saw it and realized it was Flash Thompson, it was just incredible.
Well, what it should have been was not before the live recording, but before this night is over.
I will,
yes,
yes.
And that's certainly going to happen.
I feel like I feel like that's a fair lump in with that answer.
Yeah.
I got to hand it out to the two people who had faith in you saying, nah, he's going to skip this one. Two souls who unfortunately
That might have been me.
It might have been me too. I think it was me. It was absolutely me.
Yeah, it was Mark. He made a second account, joined the Discord. Just
so before we went on the air, Ken's and I hopped on, and I wasn't planning on buying it. And I forgot that they always like release the skins like before we record. And man, when I saw that skin, dude, it is sick. Like it is.
And it's Flash Thompson.
It's Flash Top, dude.
It is.
I will for once say the spray is incredible. Like it's one of the coolest sprays. It's 2 pistols with the symbiote all interweaved in it. I'm buying it as soon as we're done. Damn it. Anyway,
I thought you wouldn't because you bought the Space Knight.
I know, but dude, I said to Ken's, I already have 2. I bought 2 Cap skins now, and now I will have 2 Venom skins.
So that's out the window. Any sort of.
But it's Flash Thompson, man. Like I
May I get my card down on the table for you?
I love the Flash Thompson Venom. It's great.
I hope that's in basic energy.
All right, let's move on here to our news segment that we call the Not So Daily Bugle News.
J. Jonah Jameson here.
All right, guys. Well, this week, of course, we got the announcement of a new game mode inbound, and that is Clone Rumble is coming. So we got a whole new event, actually, and by the time you may be listening to this, it may already be out. But yes, they revealed this Clone Rumble, and the way this is basically going to work, from what we can tell, is it's a 6v6 mode on the typical maps that we normally play on, but they're actually implementing in the voting. So the voting that is in the game, from like the bans basically in competitive, is being implemented here, but the teams are going to pick who the character is going to be that they're going to play, and it's 6v6, so you can have 6 Iron Men, you can have 6 Venom, you can have 6 Namors, whatever it is, all battling it out. I mean, we're looking right now at the video at like 6 Groots, and they're just putting platforms all over the place. I gotta say, I cannot wait to play this mode. It looks like it is going to be incredibly fun. So what do you guys think of this?
This video, if you haven't seen it, the trailer for the mode, it's exactly the energy that this mode will get. So the first is like a bunch, like 6 Punisher or however many Punishers. It would be 12 Punishers, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. All getting in their turrets and just shooting each other across the map.
A gaggle of Punishers.
That's what's going to happen. And then Iron Man ulting into like a bullpen of Caps and his shot just like ricocheting around. And then the Groots forming like a tables, ladders, and chairs dome for the 1v1 on point. Like it's epic.
Well, so here's my question. Like I at first thought it was everybody plays the same character on both teams, right? So it's like 12 Iron Men, 12 Punishers. But having the video of 1 Iron Man shooting it into 6 different Caps. So is it like each team could technically still be different, I guess?
Yeah, what it says
How does that work?
Is each team picks a character, and then each person gets to pick between those 2 characters. So you could have 3 and 3, and then 3 and 3 on the other side, or 1 and 5, or whatever. So it only unlocks 2 characters for the whole game, and you can either pick the same or different or whatever you want. And I'm sure you can switch after it starts too.
Yeah.
So we're getting Oops All Jeffs, no limits.
Yeah.
No limits.
I am beyond excited for this. So in Overwatch, in the beginning days of Overwatch 1, there was no like hero limit. Not only was there no role queue, there was also no like hero limit either. So you could just do this like all the time. In quick play. And so and it was like I think that they took it out whenever they launched competitive. I don't remember. But I remember playing the game with a bunch of friends, and we would just do the play, which was Monkey Madness, which is like, all right, we're getting tired. Monkey Madness, let's go. Winstons. 6 Winstons, just this horde of monkeys just jumps over the top of it, and it was incredible. So I cannot wait for more shenanigans.
6 Hulks.
Yes.
6 Hulks.
Yeah.
6 Hulks, 6 things. Let's go. Just like punching
Ooh.
everywhere. So
I like that.
So I did realize now that I actually didn't even do our weekend game before we jump to the news here, but we did get a comment, and the reason I'm going to bring this up right now, we did get a comment from somebody. This was Manuel05, and they said, if you go back to last week's episode and listen 1 hour, 24 minutes, 12 seconds in, that Ken's potentially inspired Clone Rumble when he said that you could have 6v6 spider people at some point in the game. So you're pretty close.
Just call me just Nostradamus, I guess, or the leader or whatever.
Kenstradamus.
Now, the reason
Get
I
those
mentioned
royalties, Kens.
the reason I mentioned that we didn't do our weekend game was my week in the game was trying to figure out if Guan Guan actually bugs the podcast, because not only did we have that, but the final piece of the event unlocked for season 1.5, and one of those little missions you had to do, get 10 health packs. And it wasn't one where you had the option to do a second thing. It was one you had to do.
No.
I'll let you know, Mark.
They're
I
listening.
completed that in one game.
Yeah.
It
Same.
Confirmed.
took no
Podcast
time at all.
Well, I would like to say, if everybody could be proud of me, I did it in 2 and almost had it in 1. I got 9 in 1, and I think I told you guys, I said it in the Discord. I played Iron Man. It was on Wakanda, so we kind of had 3 maps, the domination, and I was just flying around. But see, the only thing I hate is, like, I get mad when this is the only time it happens, but I get mad when the strategist heals me. It's like, don't heal me, dude. I need to get a health pack. And then it's like, they heal you in time. But yeah, so I think Guan Guan's listening to the podcast, guys.
How did it feel, Mark, getting those health packs? Helpful?
I mean, the healer could have did it just as good, but it's good.
Yeah. One thing going back quickly to
the
that
strategist could have done it.
strategist. Yes. Thank you. Going back to that event thing, one thing that caught my eye, which I've seen this happen in different games before when they have events, it's like a board game as you go around.
That's cool.
Yep.
So
It
instead
looks
of-
a lot longer too than some of the other
Yeah,
ones.
painting a picture, you're going around a board like the Game of Life or something. So we'll see how that goes and how that gets turned into a comic book at the end.
So they're calling it Galacta's Cosmic Adventure. And, this is kind of an interesting thing. Like when you look at the map, you can see that every map that we have is on display there, right? You see Easgard, you see Clintard, you see the Midtown maps and all that. So, and then you see actually in the video as well, there's a dice being rolled. Yeah. So it almost, and then across the map, I mean, the picture I have up on the stream right now, it doesn't have the pieces on the board, but when you watch the video, there's actually like units, almost looks like sprays, things like that. So I'm almost wondering if like you're going to roll this dice, and when you unlock, like maybe every time you unlock some sort of mission or whatever, you get a roll of the dice, and then we go around the map, and then ultimately the whole goal is just to.
Or what if this is what if this is like the battle pass type thing? Well, it's not because it's the event, but that'd be a sick. It reminds me of
Mario Party.
Sure, but it reminds me more of, I think it was season 6 in Overwatch 2 when they did the D&D
D&D one,
thing.
They have a little board you did too, or no?
No, but it was kind of separate though, and it was like a loosely told story of like a D&D game,
right?
That they played. That Tracer and her
crew,
I believe her like girlfriend was like GMing or something like that. So
that's cool.
And you're only rolling a D4. Like, what is up with that? Did you notice that it's a D4? Like,
make it a D6 and give us some synergy with multiverse RPG.
There you go.
Roll that 616.
What do you think the costume's going to be for this?
Well,
will there be one?
What that costume?
This one is the Black Widow.
It's up on the screen right now. So this is the Mrs. Barnes costume that is coming. So if you complete this event, you get the Mrs. Barnes costume. And with that, they have to say, a widow's vow, the legacy of Mrs. Barnes. You should know, Bucky and I didn't meet in church. We were both working. He is on this side of the law and me on mine. Step out of the shadows, embrace the legends of Mrs. Barnes, Black Widow's latest exclusive costume in Galacta's Cosmic Adventure. Forged in the world of 1872, where lines between justice and vengeance blur, she carries Bucky's name but fights on her own terms. So,
does she have a revolver?
I think she does.
What's
You
going
do.
on? I've
Yeah.
not ever locked in Black Widow before
She's,
since Rivals launched. Does she have a little gun like that,
No.
or is she on? Okay.
No, it's either her batons or
Batons.
her rifle.
Yeah. Watching the video though, if you actually see the video of her shooting, it's still her regular like sniper, if you want to say,
okay.
but it has a little scope on it. It's kind of gold and everything. But she kind of looks like a McCree Cassidy version of Black Widow. Doesn't
That's
she?
awesome. I love this.
It's
skin.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can get that skin for free if you go ahead and play through all of this event, which again, this game, like they don't give us a break. Like that's the one thing about Rivals that, I mean, Ken's before the show, we were talking about like, oh, we want to play Avowed or, there's all these other games coming out, but this game just like
No, sir.
does not allow you to do it. Like it almost is requiring your attention constantly
Sorry.
because there's so much new stuff. It's like, how long can they keep this pace going? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Are we going to have these events
new
come
skins
back?
every week? I feel like we talk about new skins every episode.
We do.
Yes.
We do.
It's like
'Cause
every
we
week
do.
since the game is launched.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's wild, man.
Wow.
Absolutely wild. Well, I mean,
is fun.
sticking with skins, I mean, let's just go through the rest of these here. So we got two other ones. I mean, we kind of talked at the top of the show about the Venom skin. So that is, of course, now this new, what are they calling it? It's the
lingering imprint.
Venom's lingering imprint. So this is, it's got a cool little quote line. It says, "Hey, Brock, you mind if I drive?" And he says, "Be my guest, Thompson." It says, "Mark your targets as Venom's lingering imprint, first appearing in Venom 2018, number 8, is set to launch." And this skin, man, like I said, it's
this
awesome.
is Donny Cates Venom, and it's not technically Flash Thompson, but it's Flash Thompson's codex. So
Yes.
it's like the reveal of the codex. The Maker has the codexes.
Yeah, Maker's in that
And-
episode too.
Yeah, the
issue.
Maker.
Was
is in
Flash
that
dead at
issue.
this point?
Yes.
He was, right?
And they're at his grave.
Right.
And Eddie's like, "You were such a better, Venom than me," or whatever. And then Maker pulls out the codex and they get attacked, and the symbiote bonds with Flash Thompson's codex, and then that's when that quote
Yes.
happens.
so cool.
So it's so freaking cool.
I remember that happening, and it was amazing. And he just like busts out of.
Yeah.
I thought they're in like the Maker's lab or something. right?
Yeah, it's like Flash Thompson's grave, and then it's like there's like a elevator that goes down under everything. It's
Yeah. Awesome. Read that story for sure.
Yep.
Very,
Very, very cool. It's
highly
2018 Venom. If you guys want to find that over on Marvel Unlimited, start with the Donny Cates run. It's good. Let's see. The other skin, of course, is the Cloak and Dagger Bond. It says Bond forged in shadows and light. In the radiant streets of Sicily, sunlight bathes the ancient stones, the intoxicating aroma of citrus masking the hidden scent of blood. This land is steeped in family honor, yet shrouded in clandestine deals. Here, light and darkness dance together, each relying on the other, protecting this land steeped in mystery and legend. It says justice thrives in contrast, where Cloak and Dagger's Twilight Duo costume embodies the harmony between darkness and illumination. And the neon-lit streets of Sicily, the lines between heroism and secrecy blur, weaving a tale of honor, mystery, and an unbreakable bond. Now, I gotta say, I mean, I do play Cloak and Dagger, so this one definitely would be enticing for that alone, but I like the skins, but I don't think I would want to play with the skins, I guess is the right way to
Big
say it.
pimpin'.
Big pimping, yeah, pretty much is what you got going on there. The MVP screen is cool as hell. That I will say. Like
It's a cool skin. That's the design of it is neat.
So we'll see how long it takes Mark to buy them.
Man, I'm on this.
He's buying
this
the
one.
he's buying the Venom one.
I'm definitely buying the
Yeah.
Venom as soon as we log on tonight. Absolutely.
Mark,
all
did you already get the? There's like a fauna one. Whatever the other Cloak and Dagger.
I do
skin
have
is.
that
one.
one. Yeah, that's the one I have.
Yeah, I think that one seems pretty cool because you're.
I mean, Cloak looks
little bit
so
different,
cool in
right?
that one. Man, he's got the big horns and everything. It's cool as
Yeah.
hell.
And then our friend Falcon has the other one, which is like golden green, more kind of like streetwear ish,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
Yeah, but hey, again, more skins, man. They just keep on pumping these skins out.
We-
It's crazy.
We love skin.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That Thor skin, man. It's good. Let's see. We also had this week, they also did announce as well this new patch. So, of course, with every new drop, new event like this, we do get the new patch. So by the time you're listening to this, the patch is probably already out there, but some things coming, some optimizations being put into the game. They're going in and doing some fixes. Neil, did you go through and get any good patch notes out of this one?
There is some nice, colorful writing in this. Let's see. Penny Parker's positioning predicament fixed a positioning issue that could sometimes occur when Penny is hit by Namor's ultimate ability. The mech pilot is now perfectly aligned for battle. That's really important for
Love a
me
good alliteration.
because I like to play Penny quite a bit, and she's going to get me out of silver, I think. That's what's going to happen. Calling it now.
Okay, make sure you got the
About
good strategist with you.
Jeff's ice surprise. The aquatic cutie's attacks are now as intended. The
Aquatic cutie?
cutie.
Yeah, he is.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get, yeah. Matt, what do you think of that? Aquatic cutie?
Sure, yeah. He's
Until he,
I
until he gets a symbiote.
I would
on him.
love to see the stats on how many people are drawn to the game for Jeff alone, because of
Like
how
a
many people
poll.
are just
Why do you play Rivals?
or like what was the first character that you tried out when you played, or something like that. Because I guarantee you, Jeff is one of the top 3 characters.
I bet you
Probably
if
Spider-Man.
I had to take it, it's Spider-Man, Jeff, and either Iron
Venom.
Man or
Purely
Captain
for
America.
the memes.
I would
Yeah.
think.
Ooh, Iron Man, maybe. Captain
I
America.
think Spider-Man would be up there, definitely.
Thor.
You think
They're all
so?
pretty cool.
I don't know, maybe, yeah.
I don't
Thor's
think so.
awesome, man. That's
First one I played.
so cool.
Yeah.
And Venom. I think Venom was the first. one I
Yeah,
played.
Venom maybe. Yeah, Venom's always got a lot. But yeah, you can go read the patch notes. You know, nothing real major in there. Just fixing a bunch of bugs and all that good stuff. And again, by the time you're listening to this, pretty much everything's going to be out there in terms of the new event and all that. So really looking forward to checking out Clone Rumble, man. Again, they just continue to knock it out of the park with giving us things to do in the game and giving us good rewards too. I mean, that's the other thing, to kind of throw out there. Like, this is free stuff you're getting. I mean, when you look at that Cosmic Adventure map, there are blue units on there. There's items in there to help you buy skins. If you don't want to invest money in the game, just play the game.
And really appreciate mining for good storylines from comic lore to pull stuff from, not just another Marvel Studio skin. But like the 1872 book is super cool, so it's fun that we get to see something like that.
Very cool.
Something that I mentioned when this came up too is I love they're announcing things just days before it comes out.
Yeah,
Right.
you did say that.
So like, there's not a big backlog of, I wonder when that's coming. I wonder when that's coming. It's like, yeah, okay, this is going to come and it's here on Friday. Thanks.
It makes me
ready to
feel
go.
better about all those people who are like, we data mined and these are the 10 new characters coming to Rivals, and it's like, well, it still hasn't happened. So
I know, and none of this was that's the thing. Like, they're data mining the characters or whatever, and take them for what they are. Maybe not. Those characters are coming, but like, I didn't see them data mine Clone Rumble. I didn't see them data mine the Jeff mode. Like, this stuff is just coming out of nowhere, and that's awesome. That's exciting.
We know they're out there trolling. NetEase is out there trolling as well now.
Yeah.
So
Fake files.
you'll love to see it.
Yep, very cool. Let's see. We also had the announcement this week, and this has kind of been rolling out here over the past couple weeks, I should say, of these big esports organizations finally jumping in and creating Marvel Rivals teams. So, I mean, the one that kind of really this week that I saw, and then I kind of dug into it a little bit more, was Sentinels has a team, but now you got Luminosity having a team, Team Envy. Who else we got? Fnatic has a team. So all these big esports teams jumping in and kind of just jumping on the bandwagon, right? I mean, we don't technically have a true, I mean, obviously we have the in-game tournament running right now, but I'm saying, you don't have, I guess, a governing body right now that's kind of running like an MLG or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's only a matter of time, guys. Like, once these big teams are investing in getting their rosters and all that set, I think we're gonna start seeing some pretty high level esports coming with Rivals. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's bound to happen soon.
I think one of the notable things, especially, is on the Sentinels team, we have our first pro female player.
Awesome!
Oh wow, I didn't notice that.
Amazing strategist. I believe is a Mantis main, but flexes most all strategists. Her gameplay is disgusting. She's so great. Did an interview with Esports about how she's excited to be with Sentinels, and they've been just racking up tournament wins since the beta. but she's also ready for more female players, at the pro level to rise up. And it's crazy that it's 2025, and I still feel like there is disparity when it comes to the ranks of pro gamers.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great point, man. Because like you think like other, let's say, I don't want to say that it's not an athletic sport, but like athletic sports, like there always is that gap, that gender gap, where anything out there, like this is the thing where the playing field should be the levelest, because it doesn't really matter, right? I don't want to say biology because that's not the right way to say it, but it just seems like this would be the place where we should be seeing more female gamers involved with these teams like that. And maybe she's going to really break the ice and we're going to start seeing that more. And that's awesome if we're able to see that.
Yeah, I feel like esports, there's real opportunity to kind of throw out the mindset of, oh, we need to have, it's almost like you shouldn't have a binary here.
Right.
It's just a good player can be a good player.
Yep.
And I'm interested to see how teams respond to this. If it is, since Sentinels is the first team to have, some like Aramori in their ranks, does this light a fire under other organizations to, start scouting, stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah. On that, this game's only been out for 3 months now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like people are saying, like, oh, there's no MLG, right, or anything like that. But you need people to learn the game. Still, people are still learning. Who are the good players?
Yeah.
Is it like there is some transferable skills from other games for sure, but it does play differently from the other ones. And who's putting in the time to learn the ins and outs of this game?
I will say I just got my login for 30 days achievement. And I was like,
there you go.
That's all it's been? What?
Yeah.
Since launch? That's crazy.
So I think they just had a little bit, had tryouts or however you make the team, right? So now that they've got the teams, now they'll be looking for stuff to do. So they'll be setting up tournaments.
Yeah.
And
I know in some other games, like the organizations themselves will put on a lot of the tournaments and competitions. Like I just think of Halo. I remember like it would be like, Optic would put on like a tournament on a weekend or whatever. And then you would see all these same teams come in, but it would be like Optic hosting it. So I have a feeling that's what we're going to start seeing with this,
cool.
Where you'll have like Sentinels putting on an event or Luminosity or whoever it is. And then once we really start to get that ball rolling, I mean, the sky's the limit with this game, man. Like I really think we're just on the brink right now. And I think the good thing is that NetEase intentionally didn't go in themselves trying to set the stage for the competition. I mean, we've talked about this before, but by literally like kind of just letting it organically develop, I think is the best way and kind of get that grassroots going first. Because I think around that you really build the better community and, you're not forcing things like, I mean, we've talked about it before, like Overwatch, like Blizzard did, where they, I mean, as cool as the Overwatch League was, they just went all in and just expected everybody to be right on board and, spent so much money on it. And it was like, there was a community there, but not exactly as big as they thought, where this can grow to the size of the community that supports it. And like, that's a great way to do it.
Community first.
Right. Which is awesome. So, be on the lookout for some Rivals esports headed your way. I have a feeling we're just, like I said, right on the brink here of stuff getting ready to pop off. Well, guys, you know what? Because we skipped in the beginning of the show our weekend game, why don't we do that right here? So who wants to go first here at the end of our new segment here? Who wants to talk about our weekend game? Kenz, what'd you do in game this week?
I tried playing some competitive. I kind of tried to stick to my rule of lose 2 games, get out, go play something else. So by that logic, I didn't play a lot of competitive. That's what happened almost every single night. And then I would work on my event thing. So I've been chugging along at that. It's, caused me to play some other heroes other than Magneto right now, because that's all I play in competitive these days. So I played the Thing quite a bit, played a lot more Squirrel Girl and Adam Warlock to try to get some heals. So I'm almost done with the event. But yeah, that's just about it.
Nice.
And you have that sweet Adam Warlock skin you just showed off
from the Battle Pass. It's awesome.
And you got the
Yeah,
MVP.
Shoulder pad. Yeah, I did get an MVP
The
earlier.
MVP
Awesome.
before we hopped on here, so that's awesome, man.
Yep. What about you, Neil? What'd you do?
So we did play a little bit after the show last week, and I bought my first skin, which is the Hulk,
Ooh.
Yeah.
the Hulk punk rock guy. So that's pretty sweet, and I was enjoying that quite a bit this week. I brought him out in comp too. So between him, Penny Parker for when we're on defense, and Magneto, those are kind of like my go-tos. I seem to be always filling the Vanguard role for comp. So I played maybe 2 or 3 games this week. I won 2 or 3, maybe all of them. So I'm making my way. Gold is happening for me. And with the events, as you said, a lot of them were pointing towards Squirrel Girl to play. So I played a bunch of her, and I enjoyed that a lot. I was having a hard one of the ones said where you could do damage with Hela, so I was trying Hela at the same time, and I don't know. Do you guys have any tips for her? Just get good, bro. Start aiming.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
I just
About it.
can't do it. I don't know. I'm having a hard time
She
with
can
her.
dish out some
And
good damage.
yeah.
I mean, you just gotta. For me, when I play her, it's just
Gotta
like
hit it,
headshots,
right?
dude. You just gotta keep aiming for the head.
I was having most
Should have aimed for the head.
most success with the like delayed needler kind of thing. You know, like we were talking about Halo just now, like the needles you send out and you put it in a good spot.
That
You
does
know
some
they're
good
gonna walk
damage.
over it.
She also does have like the little mini stun, like her little orb.
And it kind of
does
pulls
stun
in
for
too,
just a
right?
second. So you can walk them down for that real quick to aim, get some easy aims in.
And the fly out, which is good. But anyway, maybe I'll work on her a little bit. And the last thing, I'm trying to become a dirt pig cap.
Trying.
Played
Okay.
one.
Oh.
I'm trying. So I played a few games with him to work on that. And it went pretty well for the most part. So I'm starting to enjoy him a lot.
What about you, Matt?
Let's see, playing missions, most of the event stuff, most of it was Fantastic Four focused. So I played a lot of human, pardon me, a lot of Human Torch this week.
Nice.
Trying to see if I could, live a duelist life.
Yeah. How'd it feel?
It was all right. You got to play a lot closer with him to get those effective shots.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something I'm getting more comfortable with because I love a ranged fighter, which is why I think another week and I'll be Lord Invisible Woman.
Nice.
I've been playing a lot of Invisible Woman.
Yeah,
She's fun.
And seen a lot of people attempt that Groot wall hack in Central Park.
Yeah.
And it's just been so fun seeing that Groot try and come around the corner and then just
Fail.
push him off.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And then they
dirty.
come back and you're just like, no. And they just keep coming back. And you're like, bro, when are you going to learn? I'm just going to boop you off again. Like,
That's
come on.
great. Wow.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that I too thought for a moment that I would try and become a dirtbag cap.
Yeah.
I don't have the mobility down. I get too button mashy when I'm cap. So yeah,
That's all right. You just
We'll try.
mash on this
Jump all over the place, man.
not
But
supports.
I've also
What are
been
they?
trying to
Strategies.
get better at strange.
Nice.
Because I have to be good at strange.
embody.
Yeah.
That's your guy, man. That's your
He's
man.
my favorite.
Um,
And I bought the magic skin because it was dope, and Darkchild has like her own
so
Theme
good.
song.
hard metal
Yeah, it is
theme
sweet.
song.
Maybe
and
my
it's
favorite
so-
skin in the whole game.
I have
Ugh.
not played Magic a single game
She's a lot of fun.
since launch, since the alpha. Let's be real.
You
Yeah.
you got the taste of the duelist now, so it won't be long.
We'll see. Yeah.
Well,
be
speaking of
manning
not
her.
playing anybody since launch, that's what I jumped into this week. Actually, I played Luna. I hadn't played Luna once since the game
Nice.
launched in season
yeah.
0, and she was pretty much my go-to strategist this week. And I was getting a good feel for it. Actually, I was a little bit worried that I wouldn't be able to put out enough heals. But I really enjoyed playing her, not only just getting the heals out, but then she kind of reminds me when I play her of like when I play Mantis, because
Right.
those are kind of my like strategist slash a little bit of DPS, a little more DPS than I do. Like when I play Cloak and Dagger, it's more just about like healing, getting like tons of assists, or even Rocket's kind of that same way, where playing Luna was just like, all right, I can do a lot of damage to these people, especially when you hit her like clap. You can either, you can do a little bit more healing, or you can do a lot more damage too. So
Yeah, when Luna gets the clap, it's all over.
yeah,
Clap is great.
I might have
And
something in pharmacy for that.
I love how when you do that move, it goes through everybody, right? So it's kind of like the Moira ult, where you just aim for your teammates. If there's some enemies in there too, they're getting hurt, and you're healing your team at the same time. Feels so good.
Yeah. So
her aim's a bit tough for me, but most characters are. So
I watched a lot this week too. Just having it on passively at work. And if anybody is a fan of CarQ, the Overwatch streamer, very much a rival streamer now as well. He plays a lot of Loki, and I saw a lot of great Loki play utilizing Luna. So waiting until Luna got her ult and then copying her so that Loki could ult as Luna.
Jeez.
And then Luna immediately ulting directly after, giving you like that extended window.
That's crazy.
Of like
both on the same
You just
team.
win.
Yes, yeah.
You just win.
They're just like, okay, now's the time for the push. I'm saving my ult. Okay, Luna's got theirs. All right, we are going.
Now, what is he doing, Matt? At that point, is he like, are they both
Heal or
healing,
damage?
or is one healing
Very
and
much
one
so.
boosting damage? Because I almost wonder,
well-
like, if you did that instead, one heal, one damage, and you're just
Yeah.
like totally dominating the point with the
Superpower.
heals and like the.
There were a lot of the time it was mainly focused on heals. If it were a big moment, but in the overlap there, because it wouldn't matter,
Right.
I don't believe you could have a double boosted heal ult like that. He usually swapped to damage boost.
Wow.
Which just melt. It's like that one time in Overwatch that we did the Kitsune rush with the BAP window and the soldier ult, all three together, and it just like melted through people. Like, come on.
Wow.
Yeah. I know when the game first came out, Luna's ult, the best way to do it was just keep tapping the switch, and you got like both going at once. Did they change that? That's still the thing, or are you actually like staying healed and then switching to damage if they're all healed? At the beginning, people were just smashing that button to switch back and forth, and it like did both somehow.
That's crazy.
I think they might have got rid of it or put a cooldown or something on the switch. I'm not sure.
Wow. All right. Well, that's it for our week in game. Let's move on here to our lore segment that we call the Cerebro Files. All right. Well, we got a lot of people asking us for some Groot lore. So, of course, this week we are giving you just that. So, without further ado, Matt, I will let you go ahead and tell us all about everyone's favorite tree.
Flora Colossus.
Groot's
Thank
Flora,
you.
What is he? Flora Colossus.
In honor of our friend Groot, I thought it would be most respectful to deliver this lore in his native tongue. So I will not be translating. Here we go. I am Groot. I am
Good luck.
Groot. I am 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 okay. Anyway,
I am Groot.
played that one out a little too long. So Groot, yes. My first experience with Groot was in Marvel Studios' Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. I won't lie. I didn't know the character at all. I would assume that that's the same for most of us here. Anybody correct me if I'm wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, same for me.
No. Yep.
Very, very similar to Rocket in the sense that it's a character that popped up, I guess, earlier in Marvel Comics history and was basically refreshed and given a new lease on life. I think someone at Marvel literally was just like, hey, intern, go dig through the archives and write down the list of all the characters that were here for like an issue and like look somewhat cool. And we're going to do something with them.
He
And
does
here we
look
are.
cool.
Yeah.
He's a big tree man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I know he showed up early in the 60s, right? As like a villain, was it?
Yes. So he debuted in 1960 in Tales to Astonish, number 13. Um, and I'm, and if anybody in the comics community can help clear this up, uh, I've been reading some things that the race is called Groot, but also he is a Flora Colossus.
Mhm.
So like technically he's a Groot named Groot. And I'm not sure if that has ever been like retconned or if they are interchangeable or not. And so this 1960 appearance, I'm not sure if this is technically Groot, our Groot, or a Groot.
It
Does that
is.
make sense?
Yeah, so I looked into this a little bit this week. This is not our Groot.
Not
This
my
is
Groot.
actually King Groot, who's the king of the Flora Colossus on
There we
Planet
go.
X. And Groot comes a little bit later. That's why he looks a little bit different.
Groot, not
So,
Groot.
right,
Um,
Groot. And
so
there
yeah,
is a rumor that there might be 3 Groots because he also shows up on Monster Island and as like a cameo appearance, and they think that that's not King Groot nor our Groot.
oh,
So
that
they've
reminds
already
me
introduced him.
of a good arc. If anybody is into like monsters and kaiju and stuff like that, Kid Kaiju is a sick Marvel character who you can look him up.
Ooh.
Maybe one day he'd get drawn and he'd get added to the game. A guy can hope. So Groot, he's a Flora Colossus from the planet X, which is the capital of the branch worlds. So think like huge gardens, um, the size of planets, the size of like suns, and they're all tended to by this one guy named the gardener, who is an elder of the universe, basically. So his race of people um, basically existed. They're the longest existing in the universe. They kind of evolved and came into being right after the Big Bang, and they each have like a specialization. And the gardener chose gardening. Who would have thought? And
Did Stan Lee come up with this? This is such a Stan Lee thing. Like
and so this is actually
The
not
branch
clarified in the very
planets.
beginning. This was all explored in the newer Guardians of the Galaxy books.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think this is newer stuff, not
Yeah,
Stan Lee.
like 2008, like
Yeah.
during the Abnett run.
Gotcha.
So Groot has like a genius level intellect because all the Flora Colossus learn through photosynthesis. So through sunlight, they are like the collected consciousness of all of the Flora Colossus is shared amongst them, which is like a pretty sick way to learn, basically through osmosis, if you think about it. And growing up, Groot, uh, this race of Flora Colossus, think kind of like the opposite of the world we live in. So that, the environment is a big issue today where we see people fighting for environmental rights. And on the planet X, it is very much a race of sentient plant creatures where there are some people who are advocating for the rights of non-plant beings. So think like your underdeveloped like mammals and humanoid creatures. And Groot is one of those. Our Groot is one of those people who he doesn't get along with his. The amount of times I saw this phrase on the Marvel page as I was reading through some of like his collected history, he didn't get along with his fellow saplings.
Right.
So there's one specific instance where he sees a group of saplings beating up on this basically worker animal who are kind of like indentured servants to the Flora Colossus. He actually kills one of them in a fit of rage because of that. Well, and then it kind of leads into he found a human test subject on the planet that the Flora Colossus were experimenting on. He helped her escape, get back to Earth, and these were crimes on his homeworld. And for that, he was essentially kicked out, exiled. And this is when he decides to become, a galactic explorer. And along the way, that's where we see him team up with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Um, a lot of adventures with Rocket Raccoon. Um, thinking and looking into who would be an arch rival. I kid you not, this is verbatim from Marvel. When it comes to foes, Groot doesn't have particular arch rivals. His enemies are just those who engage a conflict with the Guardians of the Galaxy. So I think that could mean that, he doesn't really have anybody specific, but I want that to mean he's such a nice little guy that no one would want to be his arch rival, right? He's just the guy that everybody wants to like. Guardians of the Galaxy is inarguable to be his greatest appearances, I guess. Though there is a notable issue, Avengers #7 in 2010. He interviewed to be the nanny for Luke Cage and Jessica Jones's baby and did not get the job. Let's see. Interesting fact, you think about some of the abilities that he has that we see in the game, being able to produce plants, control them, superhuman strength, a bunch of these also that are exhibited in the Marvel Studios movies. But the big thing is that should anything attempt to destroy him, he can regenerate as long as a fragment remains. So that could be a twig, like we see in the Marvel Studios movies, could even be leaves. So as long as they're properly replanted, they will grow into new Groots that retain all the memories that he has. Fun fact, Groot is actually, and this is according to Marvel, Dutch and Afrikaans for big. If you speak Dutch or Afrikaans and this is not right, let me know, but also write a letter to Marvel, okay?
I am big.
Don't shoot the messenger. Orewa big. But yes, there's a good list of comics on Marvel Unlimited that I wanted to go to because kind of like Rocket, Groot mostly shows up in modern comics in the Guardians of the Galaxy books, which are great, which I probably talked about at length. The Annihilation event, Annihilation Conquest, where we see the Guardians first formed, or this iteration, the modern iteration. There are actual Groot books. There are Groot and Rocket Raccoon books, which are really great. But for some specific issues, we mentioned Tales to Astonish #13, 1960, where King Groot shows up. Then Guardians of the Galaxy #21. This is in the 2013 run. He is Venom. And if you look up Venom Groot, it's like a Venus flytrap looking. Basically, the Venom symbiote is separated from Flash Thompson, and it needs a host, and it is kind of running wild and latches on to Groot. And the panel just says, "I am Venom," which is so dope.
Perfect.
The panel is great.
Perfect.
Some other good comic recommendations. There's Rocket Raccoon and Groot from 2016. This is authored by Scotty Young, which, if you know Scotty Young, very stylized art. But actually the writer on this series. And this is the opening panel of this book is Groot and Rocket sitting around a campfire with a bunch of like scouts, like telling them stories. And so like they're relaying some of their adventures, and it's just a fun, wacky, if you know Scotty Young's art, that's the vibe of this comic. And it's just a fun book. Let's see. There is the I Am Groot line from 2017. This is where Groot is a little guy. little baby Groot, and basically he's separated from the rest of the Guardians of the Galaxy, goes through this huge teleportation device, put out on the other side of the universe, and has to find his way back to the Guardians. And then let's see. What are some other? I'm
There
going
were a
through this list
couple
here.
interesting stories that I came across. I don't know what
Yeah,
the
go
issues
ahead.
were, but here are the general plot lines. One of them was so maybe it was the Rock and Groot series. Groot puts on a scavenger hunt or like a treasure map for Rocket to find something at the end, and it ends up being like a surprise. It's your birthday, and Groot or Rocket was so upset about that because he was really excited about getting treasure or something. So as payback, he carves a map in Groot and goes missing. So Groot has to follow this map that's on his body, but he regenerates all the time. So the
Yeah,
map starts going away. So he has to recarve it in his body or get it recarved, kind of like tattoos. And
yeah.
obviously, it's like excruciating pain. And he goes on this big long adventure to try and find Rocket. And it was all
Oh, that's cool.
because he did a surprise birthday party as
Because he's such a
Rocket's
good friend.
thing. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
funny.
So Rocket hated it and went back to him. And the other thing, and I believe this probably has a lot of other cool things in it, but it's the first time I'm hearing about it. It's the Black Vortex.
Yeah.
There was a Black Vortex event, and he gets the additional powers when he goes into the Black Vortex, and he just looked awesome. I don't know if he had he was fire or something like that. That's like a Guardians of the Galaxy cross with X-Men event. So I'm going to be checking that out for sure.
Yeah, because for a little bit of time there, Shadowcat was a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and for
Oh,
a little amount of time, she was Star-Lord.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so she had this relationship with Peter Quill, and then he left the Guardians for a while. And yeah, Shadowcat's such a what are you doing here? Across many Marvel
yeah.
books. I think the Black Vortex is also what they were hunting in the Wastelanders, Old Man
Oh, really?
Star-Lord, Mark.
What was
I don't
it?
know if you
The
remember
what?
the Black Vortex. It's an item
That was
basically.
yeah. I think that was in the Rocket Star-Lord, right? That was like the
Yeah.
piece. Yeah.
I believe so.
Yep.
There's also Groot World. Oh gosh, where is it? Groot Fall. Basically, after Nebula joins the Guardians of the Galaxy, she combines the probability engine that's in her head with all of the threat matrix data that the Guardians have to basically create a Minority Report early warning system, right?
Whoa.
And bells, buzzes, and whistles all go off saying that it is Planet X, Groot's homeworld, that is going to be that is like the biggest threat in the universe.
Must be destroyed.
Or maybe must not be destroyed, but is it's giving off Spidey scent. It's alerting the Peter Tingle,
Right.
and so they go there, and this I believe ties back into a lot of what we find out about his early life, how the Flora Colossus were created as these hunters, these not peacekeepers, but warriors and these soldiers. And since Groot didn't really ascribe to that programming, he was, an outsider. But through fighting, some of these fights on his homeworld, it's kind of like Winter Soldier programming in him that's triggered as a Flora Colossus. And he becomes this planet-sized mass of branches,
Crazy.
which they start referring to him as Groot Fall, and taking over the different planets, surrounding planets in the galaxy, like vines stretching out and encompassing them. But what actually ends up happening is that the Guardians are able to get through to him, and through this process, he's able to bloom and bring these planets back to life that had died If you remember like the branch worlds, they were like huge gardens.
Okay.
Through his abilities, he was able to revive these different planets, revive everything that had died, on them. And so, definitely able to turn a bad situation into a good one. I think that's what I like the most about Groot is that he can be the most intense, awesome Vanguard or, any kind of warrior in comics, but then he can also be just like the buddy guy.
Yeah.
It's just a
Lot of love.
great range with him.
Yeah, he's one of the cooler characters, man. Like, just totally unique. He's not that standard, just regular guy or regular hero wearing the spandex or whatever. He's just something so outside the box. And like you said, he can be lovable and seem like he'd be your best friend, and then in a moment just become like probably one of the scariest monsters you've ever seen. He just has that. Now, has he ever fought like Hulk or Thing? Do you know?
That was his first appearance was fighting against Hulk.
I think both of those.
Hulk, Thing, and two other big guys.
Because I would love like a current like fight with them, what that would entail. I think that'd be pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But he fought off against just the big baddies at the time. Not the baddies, but the
big guys,
big strong guys,
the burly guys.
So Groot World, I know that a newer run of Guardians of the Galaxy that I ran, I think from 2019. It's like after the Infinity Wars event, and it's I think somewhere in there, the gardener gives Groot restores him in some way, and he can talk again.
For a short amount of time. Yeah, he gets his full.
He still talks in third person, so he says Groot wants to go blah blah, whatever, but he's he's speaking English. But he also has the punk rock look, and he's all mad and angry at everything, where he's got the spiky head and the spiky shoulder pads. And I really want that skin in the game, please.
That'd be sweet.
That was brought on because at one point, Rocket's implants start rejecting.
Yeah, I found
and he goes away to basically die.
I have a box in me. I have a box of comics over here, and it's on the cover. It says the death of Rocket Raccoon on that one, and Groot's holding him. The punk rock Groot is holding him.
Crazy.
Wow. I looked this up for Nemesis for him. Groot is one of my favorite characters to play in the card game Marvel Champions, and each
who's this
hero you play, his nemesis is Fernax, who is a big giant bug.
Another bug.
Yeah.
He's a pest.
A member of Leviathan Tide, conquering worlds for its mother. One such place was Planet X, homeworld of the Flora Colossi, where it ravaged 80,000 square kilometers of forest, fueling itself with the bodies of its inhabitants.
So it's like a locust of some kind, where it's just
but it's giant.
His nemesis is just Roundup.
I mean, how he was defeated in his original appearance was a mutated strain of termites.
Yes.
Ate him up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, watch out for those. One other thing that came up with the gardener too. He fought against the gardener, and the gardener had cloned him or something. So I think it was Groot as little Groot too. So him and Rocket took on the gardener and a bunch of Groot saplings, which would be cool one to check out as well.
It's just one of those books that you could just be unhinged on it, because it's a talking raccoon and a sentient tree that are your main characters.
Awesome.
Amazing. Absolutely.
I also looked into the game Groot lore this week. So a quick little rundown on the first part of his story. It's all about the Milano crashing on Clintar. Then Rocket and Peter Quill get into a big fight, and Groot's all about friendship. So he's like, all right, you guys figure it out. I'm getting out of here. and then he starts hearing some voices in his head, and it's symbiote plants that like start talking to him. And so he's kind of drawn to them. He's like, hey, what's going on? Like, friends? And they're like, what are friends? We don't know friendship. So Groot tries to teach them about friendship. And like, hey, like it's cool. You don't have to be mean to everybody. Like, just try it. It's very cool. But anyway, some explosions start happening on the planet. And Groot saves the symbiote plants by going to a wall or whatever. And so after he saves that, there's other stuff that's going on and more explosions, and he sees that Rocket is trapped. So he goes to save Rocket. There's a building on fire, and then the plants pay him back. They end up helping Groot save his friend Rocket, because Groot has taught them friendship. So it was very good. And then they were heading back to go see Peter Quill, see if he fixed the ship or not, or maybe he was eaten by Null. We don't know yet. Part 2.
This is all on Clintar, right? Or
all on Clintar, yep.
Yeah. I wonder if any of those symbiote plants are like on that map. You know, like when you come to the end of the Clintar map, like the third part,
near the
I guess,
tunnel?
if you want to say. Yeah, when you kind of come out. I want to look around and see, are there like symbiote plants around there? And those are Groot's little friends.
Is the payload? Is it just
the heart of
symbiote
or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
Could be like
it's something to do with Null.
It's gross, is what it is. It looks wet.
It probably is.
That's
a good
definitely
assumption.
a word.
It's moist.
Okay.
All right. Anyways, there you go. There's your Groot lore for this week. Now, we also got a email. Actually, we got a couple about these, but this one comes from Stevel Knievel. And he says, Loki lore, please. So, yes, next week we're going to be dropping some lore on Loki. So, be on the lookout for that. Go get your reading on Loki. Or, hey, go watch some of the Marvel Studios movies, too, because you can get some good Loki stuff there. Or go watch the Marvel Studios TV show, Loki.
I hear that's good.
It's
incredible. It's one of the best
good
shows.
Yep. So, next week we will be diving into Loki. All right, guys. Well, let's move on here to our final segment, the part of the show where we get you, the listener, involved, that we call What Ifs. All right. Well, don't forget, you can always email us to rivalsassemblepod@gmail.com. Or, of course, you can leave us a message over on Spotify. Or if you join the Discord, we even have a channel over there where the Discord members can leave us questions and topics as well. So this first one actually is from an email. This one comes to us from Jason Scout. And he says, whenever I play, my mind tends to stray to possible abilities to add or change/update. He says, Moon Knight and The Thing have been two favorites that I have spent time on lately. Whenever I am in a match with Moon Knight and Thing, I can't help but think that Moon Knight should be able to have his Ankh stick to the Thing. This would then give Moon Knight a roaming Ankh. Any other changes or abilities that you would like to see? First of all, I think that's incredible. I could just imagine a Thing running around, like, you know, he gets that nice charge, just running, and then just the Ankh. That would be crazy.
That'd be sick.
Would this be considered a team up? It must be, right?
I mean, that would almost be maybe not. I mean, I guess it probably would be because not to say it would necessarily
Do you have
be
to be
overpowered,
consenting?
but
Yeah.
abused, I'm sure.
Initiate Ankh implant.
That's you have to trigger like, hey, can I?
Kind of like the throw.
Nope, never mind. I'm not even gonna
Wolverine
finish
throw.
it's too easy.
I mean, it's got me thinking, like, would like a Thing Groot team up be? Like, Thing is rock, and you have plants. I guess plants maybe can't be planted in rock.
Slingshot.
There you go.
Plant two walls,
yeah.
and then you pull the Thing back.
That'd be crazy.
Like fastball special, like on drugs.
Or could you do like, I don't know, like Thing and Spider-Man or something with like his webbing? Same thing, like he slings himself forward. Or the two group walls.
You know, like in Marvel Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation 5.
Oh yeah, you fling yourself with
how you you could have specific points on the map where it's set up, because that could limit it a little bit, because I could see it getting a little out of hand, or just one of those things that people exploit like crazy. So it's like, you know, at 3 different points on the map, you can create the slingshot if you have the necessary characters.
Yeah. Well, speaking of things getting out of hand, we didn't mention this when we were talking about Clone Rumble. Do you guys think the PlayStation or Xbox or even some people's PCs are going to be able to handle 12 Doctor Strange portals at once?
No, some will explode.
Like,
Well,
wow.
they proved it in the Doom match mode, right? He's got so many portals on that
That's
map.
true.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess that's true. No, you're right.
They're all functional. So
Yeah.
it
I
should work.
believe the limit is that you have one, because I've been watching a lot of Loki play. I don't know if this will carry over into the clone mode. You have one portal per team per cooldown. So like if
else that uses all of it.
yeah, like there you have a portal allowance. So like if Loki goes to copy Strange, he doesn't have his own portal. He inherits that cooldown. And if he uses portal, Strange likewise has to wait until that cooldown is.
Interesting. That's
Which
good.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there I think you're actually copying that. He's copying that specific Doctor Strange, where this is like literally 6 separate
They
Doctor
probably
Stranges.
have it.
Oh man, it's crazy.
I haven't seen anything or tried, but you know how in the game portal you can set up 2 portals right on top of each other and do like an infinite speed thing?
Mhm.
Is that possible here? Do a portal right into another portal and you just kind of fall through it and gain momentum?
Should be.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say it should be, but I
I don't know why it wouldn't
do
be.
that.
Yeah.
I've been seeing portals used more as barriers than
Yeah. You cover both the
actual
entrances
portals.
and they just walk
Yeah,
back
like
into
especially on the
spawn.
Midtown map when you're at that middle checkpoint, they
Mhm.
just portal in front of those 2 doors, forcing you to go around and like climb over the subway cars.
I
But
think that
yeah,
sounds awesome. I think we'll see what kind of team ups that they're going to bring in the next season, but anything with Venom, maybe like Venom, Mr. Fantastic, and give Venom some stretchy arms, or Hulk, maybe Hulk and Mr. Fantastic, give him some stretchy powers.
Venom doesn't need anything more. He's fine. He's gotten consistently buffed. He's good.
but you know what he needs? That new skin. It's awesome. I need
Some
that new skin.
guns.
Yes,
Need some
guns.
guns.
Give him the guns.
How can we make Venom better? Let's give him guns.
Guns. America. Let's see. Next one. This comes from the Discord. This is from Ink and Lead. And he says, could you guys make the worst team comp possible in the current meta? With 2 supports, 2 damage, and 2 tanks. He says they were debating it in the chat the other day. So what do you guys think? The worst possible team comp. Give us 2 supports, 2 damage, and 2 tanks.
Oh, so it's got to be 2-2-2. You just
2,
got to
2,
pick
2,
the.
but
I was going to say, I'll
worst.
tell you what's not is six healers. 6.
Yeah.
That's
Never die. But yeah, so we got to go 2, 2, and 2.
Skill issue.
What do you guys think is the worst?
I think
Well, I
the
don't
worst.
know if it's
Go ahead.
the 6 worst players, but the 6 that don't jive well.
Right.
Right.
That's what he's
I
saying,
think
right.
that's the key.
Give us a
Like-
bad team comp with 2, 2, 2.
Probably
I think-
2 diving tanks.
Yeah, I mean, would that be like Thing and Hulk? I mean, I've seen that a lot, actually. But
Just seems too good.
yeah, I mean,
What do you think, Matt?
I think like Jeff and Rocket only because I feel like I love both of them and I play a lot of them. Since they are also so easy to play that they are taken for granted and that in the wrong hands, I don't know.
See, I think you can put out a lot of heals. I think you got to look at like a someone who doesn't know how to play Adam Warlock. I think immediately you got to put Adam Warlock in here, even though in the higher comp ranks he's there like all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of that is for his revive, but then people just know how to play him. I mean, he's practically like a swept under the rug sniper almost, but a lot of people don't know how to play him, so they're not putting out the heals. So I think you got to put him in there, and then I would almost put
Mantis?
That's who I was
He's also a
thinking.
limited heal, right?
Yeah.
So if you waste your heals, you
Right.
don't have any left, and you have all heals on cooldown.
So if you have those 2 and then you throw in your dive tank, so either I would put Venom because Venom at least has his shield. So I would say maybe Thing. I mean, it's not a shield. Venom has his armor.
He's
I guess
got
it is,
some
but-
good-
I think maybe Thing and Thor, because
Yeah.
neither of them really have a Thing. maybe Thing and Venom, or Thor and Venom, because Thing can get in and out pretty quickly, and he can give the damage reduction. So if he's doing that to Thor, that would probably be helpful. So I'm like, what's the least helpful? Like, having 2 dive tanks as like a Thor and Venom would probably be.
I would almost
pretty
put
rough,
Cap though too, man, because I don't think a lot of people know how to play Cap right.
Oh my gosh. Was I playing with
Yeah.
you guys when I was up against the Venom Cap like team up? It was horrible. They were fantastic. It was horrible on our end, but it was just like
I
as
think
soon as Cap jumped out, Venom swung in, and they just kept tagging out, and it was just like relentless.
The tanks are hard because it's like I think most of them are probably fine. I think.
I think just
tough
in
to pick the
general,
worst
like this
one.
game,
Yeah.
like most, as long as you have somebody that's good with that character, they can almost anybody, anything's pretty much viable. And then it also depends on who are you up against. That's
True.
what I think. Like, sometimes a comp that may be bad in one situation might be decent or at least viable in another one.
And what's the game mode too versus like control,
Right.
or for pushing? You're going to play
domination.
The
different
worst
tanks.
team possible, me
Yeah.
on the Doom map.
Yeah, the 4 of us and 2 other people. There's your
Yeah.
worst team.
There you go. Whatever we're playing.
The first time I played the Doom map with Mark, I was like, Mark, I hate this mode. I'm gonna sit
I
here.
wanna go
I'm literally not doing anything. Because all you do is get killed by Scarlet Witches that are just
Yeah, auto
wrapping
aim.
around.
I'm gonna change my answer for the Vanguards, and I'm gonna say like Groot and either Magneto or Doctor Strange, because they don't have the mobility to get away if things are going bad.
Yeah.
And
You don't
if you
have
have
to get away because if you have both of them, you're not going to kill them because they can just wall up,
Yeah, that's
you
true.
think,
and they don't have to run away.
but then
Doctor
like
Strange is
you don't
Again,
have any support.
But again, it depends on who you're up against, right? Like if you have people that are range, you can put those group walls up. You can, block the other team's heals and everything. But
if they're diving on you,
right, if they're diving on you, then you're kind of screwed. So it all just depends.
and your strategists are out of cooldowns on your heals.
I don't know. That's a tough one, man. Like I said, there's I think a lot of answers on that one. Let's see another
Yeah,
one.
all goes down to who's playing it, because pro players and higher ranked players can make good at anything.
Yep. Let's see, we got another one on Spotify. This one came to us from Jack Van Horn, and he says, I've been spending debatedly too much time trying to finish all of the achievements, particularly assisting with team wipes with a few strategists. Have you guys dipped into the achievements to grind out a few more of the blue currencies? And what are your thoughts on who has the most or least challenging achievements? Have you guys really? I honestly haven't even
No.
I just happened to unlock one. I'm like, oh, I got an achievement. How about that?
Yeah.
But I have not.
I was looking at them for a little bit. Some of them you have to. You have to team wipe as Cloak and Dagger. I didn't think I would ever get that, but I got it once, and it felt good. But that one seemed like one of the hard ones to get. And then other ones are, it really depends who the other people on your team are. So you got to kind of play it. Like as Storm, you need to team up with X-Men to get a certain amount of takedowns.
I saw one, with her.
There's
and
an
the X-Men.
Avenger one as well with Cap, maybe. I have to go look and see which ones I don't have, because that'll be my answer. Those
can be done within bot matches.
different games.
Right.
Oh yeah, we're bot games. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
So some of those, I don't know, Jack, if that's something you're doing, but if you're having issues with one, I would assume you could probably go in there, or even just get a group of some friends and go in and just play a bot match or whatever and try to knock some of that stuff out.
I love achievements, but I don't know that I'm there yet. Like I think at some point I'll be like, man, I really need to get the achievements for the heroes that I love. But and I love that they're in the game and that they give you currency. That's incredible. I haven't dipped into it so far.
Spider Joe in the chat says he doesn't think they can be done in bot matches, so maybe not.
Oh,
For some reason, I
Give
thought
me
they
loot
could be.
boxes.
So maybe not.
I'm looking at these now. I think one is 2 heroes to captain proficiency. That just takes a lot of time, right? I guess eventually it's going to happen.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the thing with that one. Like I have Cloak and Dagger there, and I'm almost on there with the second one. But yeah, that's one that you just, if you play the same heroes over and over, you're just gonna get it through.
What about backstab with Loki from behind?
Nice.
Loki from behind. What?
Yeah.
We got another one. This one comes from Melon Sky 1, who says, who do you think has a future nerf incoming? I think Namor is really powerful. No damage fall off. Luna team up is crazy. Super high burst potential, flank prowess, infinite ammo, complete invincibility every 12 seconds. I love how he plays, but I worry that they could tone him down. I don't know. Personally, with him, like, I mean, you don't see him as often, I think, but when you do have a good Namor, like, they're great with him. I actually enjoy playing with him a lot, too. I always, like, forget to play with him, actually. But I think if they were going to nerf him, they would have already done it. Like, he doesn't seem like somebody that, I don't know, right now. I mean,
nobody's, I feel, if you can't maximize all of that, then he's not a problem. And I feel like there are fewer players who can do that.
Yeah. I think a lot of him too. I mean, you have his spear you're tossing, then you have like the stronger spear that, of course, points your turrets at folks. But I think a lot of him is the turret placement. Like if you understand how to place those turrets, where to put them, where the enemies are coming from, that's when I think you can really unlock his potential. And then the invincibility. That's the one thing I've always said with that is like, it's great, but you're almost just kind of like a sitting duck because, yeah, it's great. I'm floating in the air and you're saving me now, but the minute I pop out of it, I'm just a target sitting there waiting for, people know when that's going to basically open up and you're able to start unloading on him. So
it's like waiting for a Bruce Banner to transform from Hulk to Bruce. They're like, all right, it's coming. 3, 2, 1, shoot everything at him.
So characters with a nerf, do you think Winter Soldier is going to get a nerf? Because he seems
maybe Bucky. That was the first one that came to mind.
Him
just
or
the ultimate, maybe.
Yeah.
Because Bucky's ultimate seems to be just like, again and again and again and again, quite literally.
Literally.
Again. Here we go again.
You get a good Bucky and it's bad. I mean, me playing him, he doesn't need a nerf at all, but
again?
No, never happens. Hard enough getting it off one.
Just once?
Which I try.
Yeah, here in the second half, here in 1.5, like we're definitely seeing him a lot in matches now.
Yeah. I had him in one of the was it the Hydra base? And he's just hanging out over I'll call it a plank, but there's like a pit that you can fall in, and he's just pulling people into the pits. And I'm like, this guy gets me every time because he's got the pole ability, right? Just on the other games wherever you have anybody with a pole, like Roadhog and in Overwatch, pulling people down the well and
in the
Sparta
middle there,
or whatever.
Invisible Woman's great about that too. You choose her
you're saying
towards the end, and then I'm just gonna vault over. I'm gonna pull you towards me and vault over you. And
bye. Not nice.
Let's see. We got another one here. This is from Mark Asbury, and he says, "Hey guys, with NetEase saying they're going to be doing about 10 years worth of content on Rivals, do you think they're just going to be throwing all kinds of characters in the pool, or eventually it will die down a little?" I mean, I don't know if they can keep with 2 characters a season, and we're going 3 months, so that's 8 characters a year, right? That would put us
they could definitely do that for 10 years.
80 characters. Yeah,
I hope so. That is a lot.
It is a lot.
They have 40 or something now, right? So it's just like,
I think at one point we need like a brief pause.
Yeah,
please.
Imagine the wheel. Imagine the wheel, like right now when you go to pick your characters, and like just the wheel that's already now
another white guy with brown hair.
120 characters on that wheel. What would that be like?
Maybe they'll make it wider, take up more. Of the screen.
That'll need a UI rework at some point. It's already.
Well, I also think it decreases, like it's a greater barrier to entry, because thinking about like Heroes of the Storm, thinking about like League, trying to get into those myself, it's like, where do I even start? Because I've got literally hundreds of options.
Jeff, Spider-Man.
Yes, and that is why I go to Jeff, because it's like, I like Shock. Go.
And then learning to play against them all too. You're like, who's this guy? What does he do?
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't nice. I guess I got to watch out for that guy.
But that's why a lot of games do that. Like when League Wild Rift came out on mobile, they lowered the character count. To what was it? It launched with like 30 or whatever. Then they slowly started trickling all the heroes out that they already built in League on PC, but rather than just like throw those at all these new players who are going to be jumping into it on handheld.
I think they will slow down. I don't know when it will be. I think they're going to keep this pace up for a while, but it's at some point. I mean, it's got to happen. And People will probably be disappointed, but let's not be too surprised. Like this.
Yeah.
Is,
Well, that's what I said. Remember, I said that. Like, I wish they didn't promise that
Right,
because the
I know.
minute they
Yeah.
don't put that out there, you said you were going to give us 2 every 3 months, and it's like, all right, well, but we'll see. We'll see if they're able to do it. I mean, again, I hope they're able to. I mean, I hope the game is able to at least continue for 10 years. I'm not even worried necessarily about the characters, but like they're able to at least, because I mean, Overwatch has been out what 8 years now, like 2016 wasn't it?
2016.
So
Right.
just think of that, and I mean, it's going down, but I mean, it's getting a big rework here right now. So
Quality over quantity, please. And a sequel that didn't need to happen, but
yeah,
it's
Right.
neither here nor there.
So, did NetEase do an official announcement saying that they were going to support it for 10 years?
he's
It was so. This
Sounds like-
was in this was in an investor call where they said they're prepared basically to, and they want to support. Where's the? We do believe this is a product we're going to keep operating, keep enhancing, and keep investing in for 10 years and beyond. So it doesn't sound. It's. I don't believe it's a hard commitment.
Right.
It just sounds like we're prepared, and not that we have this planned out. 10 years of a live service game. Like, can you imagine? But they wouldn't be mad if they got to work on it that long.
okay, but
But hey, talking about like job security in the games industry, like
Hopefully.
here's the question. Here's the question: are we prepared
For 10 years.
to
of
talk
the
about
show?
this game
Oh,
for 10
man.
years?
Yep. And beyond.
We'll see.
And beyond.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's see. The last one. This one comes to us from Neb, and they say, "Does anyone else think that the ragdoll that your character has after dying is funny? Me and my
Yes.
friend were playing and couldn't stop laughing at a Spider-Man that looked like it dropped its sexy."
I've never noticed
Yeah.
it because I'm always like,
oh no, yeah.
I think
It's
Matt said that I
skip.
went flying last Thursday after we played. or
the
something.
oh my gosh,
yeah.
the way like especially when it's an ult like an Iron Man ult or some kind of implosion or explosion ult where characters are blown out, you're like with Ken's, you specifically, I just saw your character go like from one side of the map to the other, and I was just like, oh, I guess he's knocked out. Like just so
didn't
funny.
need to check the kill screen for that. What is it
Well,
called?
I had already seen that.
Okay, good.
Because I keep tabs on that.
I mean, the times when you get the good ones are Spider-Man, Venom is a good one. I've had my Iron Man, like any of the flyers. Usually, especially if
Good
you're
momentum.
coming in, that's when you see it. Like, when they die like mid-flight and they're just like ragdolling like crazy. So, but yes, Neb, we've noticed that, which is, I guess, just the engine, right? Just the engine of the game, which is funny. So any game like that, any game that has this ragdoll physics is awesome. I mean, Halo, you think about Halo was always funny. Your Spartan
yeah.
would always end up in just like a crazy position. It's awesome.
Pretzel.
But all right. Well, again, if you want to be a part of the show here, make sure to leave us a comment over on Spotify, or of course you can email us to rivalsassemblepod@gmail.com. Or like we said, go join the Discord. We'll have the link in the show notes, and you can leave us a topic over there in the Discord. And of course, just get involved in the conversation of the show over there. So guys, that's going to be a wrap here for this week. Don't forget, you can also go vote. Go vote on this week's poll coming up here. What is the most useful team up in the game? Again, that's either Magneto, Scarlet Witch, Hela, Loki, and Thor, Adam Warlock, Star-Lord, and Mantis, or Rocket Raccoon, Punisher, and Winter Soldier. Go vote over on Spotify. You can find it in the description of the podcast. And let us know, and we will give you the answer next week. And I'm already going to give you a tease for next week's. And I think you can figure out what it is. If we're going with the most useful team up in the game, I'll give you one guess of what next week is. Not exactly the most useful.
What is the mega most bestest?
Mega bestest, mostest.
We will also be talking some Loki lore next week, and I'm sure diving into this Clone Rumble with stories from the game. I'm sure. I can't wait, man. Some of the stories that are going to come out of this, it's going to be so much fun.
Please send us
so
your
much.
clips. Tag us on social media or join and post them in the Discord. I just want to laugh.
Yep. And be on the lookout, too. Like I said, Monday, we're going to be giving you our special episode where we're breaking down Captain America Brave New World. So if you have not seen the movie yet, this will be loaded with spoilers. We're going to basically dive into everything about the movie, from the plot to the actors to just everything. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, be a little leery listening to it But yeah, that'll give you a little taste of what's going to come when we launch the Patreon here in a couple weeks. So, guys, anything here at the end you want to throw out?
Cut the check.
We were Groot.
We were Groot.
We have been Groot.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one.
We will always be Groot.
All right, guys. Well, with that, everybody, thank you here, as always, for tuning into the show. We appreciate it. And with that, we'll catch you next time. Later.